test. Now we're going to look at Adam and Eve. What I want to do is, as I read this, I'm going to stop every once in a while at words that I think you might not be familiar with, and we're going to see if we can dissect what they mean, okay? Sure. Great. Love that. Huh? So Adam and Eve, you all think you know about it. Tell me who the main characters in Adam and Eve are. Great. God, yes. And then another character would be, y'all are so smart. It's not funny. Sophia, do we have to kick you out? All right. So Adam and Eve occurs after we have creation, right? Because they have to be created. Okay, ready? Are we ready? Okay. Ready. Now, the Lord God had planted a garden in the east, in Eden, and there he put the man he had formed. The Lord God made all kinds of trees grow out of the ground, trees that were pleasing to the eye and good for food. And in the middle of the garden were the tree of life and the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. So we have two trees. Some of you have never had me before, so you don't know this about me, Kason? Yes. You don't know this about me. Okay. You don't know that I'm an amazing drawer. I'm an artist. Okay. So we have the Garden of Eden, and look, here's trees. And aren't these beautiful trees? That actually looks like a tree. All right, what is that? Yeah, that's what you said. Okay, so we have trees. What is that? I switched. Okay, so we have trees, but in the middle we have two trees, right? One is the tree of life, and then the other is the tree of the knowledge of what? Of good and evil. Okay, now let's see what happens. Are you excited? I'm so excited. Hey! Okay. A river watering the garden flowed from Eden. Okay, so there's a river. I think I should draw that too. And it had 4 river heads. So it's very, that's a river. Okay. So that means that God is really taking care of everything here, right? He's providing water, everything is lush and fruitful and all that fun stuff. Okay. I'm going to skip the names. All right. The Lord took the man. What's the man's name? All right. And put him in the Garden of Eden to work it and take care of it. And the Lord God commanded the man, you are free to eat from any tree in the garden, except, which one? That one. The one that looks like a goofy tree. Then the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. For when you eat from it, you certainly will die. So here's a command and then like a consequence. So how many of your parents have ever given you a rule and they've explained, but if you decide to break it, here's what's going to happen. Somebody give me an example of that. Via. When I got my computer for Christmas, you can have this for school. Mm-hmm. Break the rules and start playing games on it. You'll have it taken away. Perfect. Okay. It's going to be gone. You don't get to have it anymore. All right. So what was God's consequence? I want us to hone in on that again. You'll die. God says you will die. You will die. Dead, die. Okay. All right. Now here, this is interesting. Who's God talking to at this moment in time? Adam. Okay. It's Adam. Eve has not been created yet. So, because if we read on, now God's about to create Eve. The Lord God said, it is not good for man to be alone. I will make a helper suitable for him. Now the Lord God had formed out of the ground all the wild animals and all the birds in the sky. He brought them to the man to see what he would name them, and whatever the man called each living creature, that was its name. So the man gave names to all the livestock, the birds in the sky, and all the wild animals. I'm going to skip some so that we can make sure we have time for the rest of the story. So God made a woman from his rib, not from his Eve. Okay. Now, all right, we're in chapter 3. Now the serpent was more crafty than any of the wild animals. What do you think the word crafty means?
There you go, Grayson.
I love that word, innovative. I want you to think about, do you have anybody, like maybe your mom or your aunt or somebody's like a craft queen? Or they try. Okay, all right, Rain, if I can. Okay, or they try to be very crafty. What that means is they are able to take parts that you normally would not put together and put them together. So I like what Grayson said before he just said what he said. And you said the word innovative. Okay, so that means that he was able to come up with a good lie that would entice them. Okay, that could be part of being crafty. Listen, focus back in. He said to the woman, did God really say you must not eat from any tree in the garden?
No.
Well, God didn't exactly say that.
He just said, don't eat from the.
The woman said to the serpent. So the woman then is like, well, I'm not going to answer that question because it seems a little tricky. So I'm going to repeat back what God says. Okay. We may eat fruit from the trees in the garden, but God did say you must not eat fruit from the tree that is in the middle of the garden, and you must not touch it or you will die. Okay. So Eve heard what had been said. Eve repeated it. She had understood. She was paying attention. She comprehended it. Then the serpent said to the woman, you will not certainly die. For God knows that when you eat from it, your eyes will be opened and you will be like God, knowing good and evil. Which, if you look at the title of the tree, what is the title of the tree? Knowledge of good and evil. So I bet Eve is thinking, I bet the serpent has like some truth. I want you to think about how a lot of times when we have evil or temptation or somebody's giving us a lie, even, let's think about that, a lie. Do they often include part of the truth in the lie to make it more believable? Right. So if they include some of the truth, then we're more likely to believe the little part that's a lie. So maybe that's what Satan was doing here, because we know he was that, what word? That crafty. Crafty. When the woman saw that the fruit of the tree was good for food and pleasing to the eye, and also desirable for gaining wisdom, she took some and ate it. She gave some to her husband who was with her, and he ate it. I always like, I know, Adam, dadgummit. What were you thinking? Step up and be a man. Control your woman. No, y'all. Okay. So here it is. In all seriousness, they were both there. Eve did make that first decision, and she gave it to her husband, and her husband also made the decision to eat that. Then the eyes of both of them, pay attention. I know we're having fun, but pay attention. Hey, Kason, chill. Okay. Wait, let's get back to the story. Then the eyes of both of them were opened, and they realized they were naked, so they sewed fig leaves together and made coverings for themselves. So let's pause. Did they die? Okay. But wait a second. So did God lie?
No, because a lot of people still sin there in the future.
Was that the end of the thought? I thought he was still talking. Okay. All right. So we're going to come back to that question. Did God lie? We're going to come back to that question. No, he didn't. Preview. No, hold on. We're going to talk about that, right, Carter? We're going to talk about it. They did. Okay. Pause. Wait. Shh. Then the man and his wife heard the sound of the Lord God as he was walking in the garden in the cool of day. Wait a second. Did you hear that? This is my favorite imagery. They heard the sound of the Lord God as he was walking in the garden in the cool of day. They heard God walking in the garden. You hear God walking around in your garden often? I'm just saying, like, that's pretty, it's a pretty good imagery. Like, can you imagine being in a garden where you can literally hear God's footsteps? How amazing was that? Okay. God called to them and said, "Where are you?" He answered, "I heard you in the garden and I was afraid because I was naked, so I hid." And God said, "Who told you you were naked? Have you eaten from the tree that I commanded you not to eat from?" The man said, "The woman you put here with me, she gave me some of that fruit and I ate it." And then the Lord God said to the woman, "What is this you have done?" The woman said, "The serpent deceived me and I ate." All right, so now we're going to listen to the things that God said is going to happen because this command was broken. And let's see if God did lie about them dying. Okay. He said, "Cursed are you above all livestock." Oh, he's talking to the serpent first. Sorry, I skipped that part. So he's going to, okay, so you're going to have to shh. Okay. So he's talking to the serpent. We're going to skip this part because we're running out of time a little bit. Okay. Then he talks to the woman. He said, "I will make your pains in childbearing very severe. With painful labor, you will give birth to children. Your desire will be for your husband, and he will rule over you." And then to Adam, he said, "Because you listened to your wife and ate fruit, here's what's going to happen to you. Cursed is the ground because of you. Through painful toil, you will eat food from it all your days. It will produce thorns and thistles, and you will eat the plants of the field. By the sweat of your brow, you will eat your food until you return to the ground, since from it you were taken. For dust you are, and to dust you will return." Okay. So here we have women are going to have it difficult because they're going to have kids and it's going to hurt. But not only that, it's not just about that one experience, but our lives, not just women, but the men's lives too, are now going to become difficult, right? We have to think about food. Whereas before, God took care of, this perfect paradise where they were not having to necessarily work and toil and things like that. But now that was going to change. And here we were talking about this the other day. Verse 21, the Lord God made garments of skin for Adam and his wife and clothed them. That's where the animal skins came into play. And then the Lord said, the man has now become like one of us, knowing good and evil. Who's he talking to? Mm-mm. Nope, he's in heaven talking. Or I don't know if he's in heaven, but Jesus. Yeah, he's saying that the man and woman have become like one of us, like one of him and Jesus. He must not be allowed to reach out his hand and take also from the tree of life and eat and live forever. Catch that again. He must not now be allowed to reach out his hand and take from the tree of life and eat and live forever. He must not now. I'm repeating this. No, it's not. He must not be allowed. Okay. He must not be allowed to take from the tree of life and live forever. Meaning he can't, I'm going to keep saying this so you all can understand. He cannot eat from the tree of life. And God just defined to us what the tree of life was doing. Let me say it again. The tree of life and live forever. What was the tree of life doing if they ate from it? I've only said it 20 times now. Forever. Okay. So God's saying they cannot do what now? They can't eat from the tree of life and live forever. So was God's promise true? Mm-hmm. Yes, because before this, were they going to die? They were correct. They were not going to die. And now are they going to die? Yep. So God's promise was true. True. God's promise was true. But not only in a physical sense. Goodness gracious. Not only in a physical sense, what happens now, sin is in the world. What happens spiritually, sin is what? Death too, right? So now they have to overcome that as well. That was rough, Kason. So I'm going to go over this again. Let's look at my little drawing because we love the drawing. Hasten, control. So my beautiful drawing, we've got lots of trees. We've got the river. We've got two of the trees in the middle. One was the tree of, the other was the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. What did we learn at the end of this story that happened? What did the tree of life give? No, it gave life, but not being, God said, now you can't eat from that tree. So then we have death. Okay. So God's promise to them that if you eat of this tree, this one, you're going to die, was true, because here are the two possibilities they had. Let me put it this way. They could eat of this one and not eat of this one. Okay. They could do that. And if they did that, then they're getting this life, right? Okay. They could only do one or the other, basically. Or if they ate of this one, we'll pretend like that's not there. We'll put a check mark. Then they couldn't eat of that one. So they could not get this life everlasting here on the earth. Okay. So God's promise was true. But the snake, the serpent, the devil deceived them because he used tricky wordplay, which happens a lot. Have you ever not understood something and has gone along with it and then realized, oh, maybe they're wrong, because I just didn't really understand what they were saying. Okay. So what we're going to do, a few things. So glad you asked. Is tomorrow you have, how much time do we have? Oh, we have plenty of time. Okay, pause before I give out tomorrow's work. What we're going to do. I know. I just want you to pay attention to the side that says 7 strategies for using context clue and reading. I'm not going to give you both pages. And you can work with a partner or you can work by yourself, but I want to see right this second. I want to see in the next 5 minutes how many of these words you can define. Maybe you already know what they mean. Just the front of this page. Like I said, you can ask a partner for help if you need to. You may not copy. Just the front. So read the instructions. You are going to be looking at these sentences, and then there's questions below the sentences, okay? What? What is that? Oh, am I being too loud for it? Bless. What's its name? Jeffrey. Pass that down. All right, go ahead. Quickly try to do number 1 through 4. This is using context clues, but I have a feeling you don't even need to use your context clues, but give it a go. Quickly. All right, take another 2 minutes. Just do the front. You don't have to do the back. Just the front. I know y'all got this. Easy peasy. Lemon squeezy. I'm going to get this out of the trash. I think I was supposed to do it the other way. Is that a knock? Yeah? Yes, come in. Enter Sandman. Can you unlock it, Grace? And it might be locked. Yes. Was it locked? Can you unlock it for me?
Then how did he open it?
No. I gotta finish class. But is it unlocked now? Great. Okay. What does serpent mean? What does it mean according to the sentence? Pretend like you didn't know what it was. What would you have written? Creature, a cunning creature. Like if you did not know what it meant and you only had to go on the sentence that was given. All right. Number 2, if you did not know what a barrier meant and you had to go based on the sentence, what would you have put? I should have told you that. What does it literally say in the sentence? A locked gate. Okay. If you didn't know what a barrier was, you might put a locked gate. Okay. Next one. Delight. What does delight mean? Okay. Any of that? Catches your eyes. Good. All right. And then loincloth. What would you say the purpose of a loincloth would be? Gorgeous. I love that. All right. You all may throw those away when you are leaving. Don't wait, pause. I'm going to hand out homework for tomorrow, which is reading comprehension. You are going to look back. I'm going to pause. Okay. Pause. Hold. Y'all are going to look back over the story of Adam and Eve. That can be found in Genesis, right? 2 through 3, I think is what we read today. And answer these reading comprehension questions. Take one, pass it down. Yes. Mm-mm. All right, we are going to pray. And then you all can leave.